Hello, ladles and jelly spoons, boils and goils and everything in between. Welcome to the Paranormal Hot Seat. It's been a little hot minute since we've actually done one of these.
It's been quite some time.
Look, we can't get enough of each other 2 weeks in a row. Sick.
That was after we spent 3 weeks, or 2.5 weeks together or something like that in America.
Yes.
We
that
missed
was a long time ago.
It was a long, feels like a very long time ago.
It was months ago.
Oh,
Jeez.
was only like, October. You know, so much has happened in the world since then.
Yes.
Yes, very exciting. But today's a show with a little bit of difference. We talked about some hot topics,
y'all,
in the world of the paranormal, and we thought we've each got a little topic to discuss today.
And if you've got a hot topic, put it in the comments.
We've already had a snort from Renata and we haven't started. Oh, hello, the guy. How you doing? This Paranormal Hot Seat is all about us saying what we really think and expecting you guys to say what you really think. Sarah, I see you there.
Because we are so shy and retiring normally. We don't say what we mean ever.
And I don't think this is happening enough in the paranormal field. Everyone is sort of keeping to themselves and going, let's not talk to anybody else. So I'm going to bring up the topic later on in the conversation about paranormal expos and conventions and whether they're good or not, and the good, the bad, the ugly about those said things.
Oh, wow.
If you've got thoughts on paranormal conventions, put it in the comments.
Please do.
Yes, I'm going there.
You are.
What are you going to talk about?
I'm going to be talking about a show that's coming on in England. And if you follow this particular series, this is going to be interesting because it's going to feature Pendle Hill. And we've been to Pendle Hill.
We have.
We did a very, very interesting tour on Pendle Hill itself. And we've returned there because we just love the place. So this is going to be very, very interesting.
What about you, Steve?
I'm going to hold mine.
Oh,
I'm going to hold on. I want a real reaction. So it's a mystery topic.
Wow.
Wow.
But it'll get involved with the audience too, because they're going to have their opinion, because it's a worthwhile conversation.
I think I might warm the audience up then with mine first,
Oh, she's
because
warming
it
us up.
seems to be the least hideous of everyone.
The least. Well,
all right. Well, I'm going to have to share the screen to do this, so bear with me because I have to sort of try and look around the camera to see what on earth it is I am doing.
Right.
And
So this is a little intro that they have put out for this series that's coming up. And if you guys are able to get this, it's going to be very, very interesting for you to have a look at it. It's called My Haunted Project. And this isn't the first of the series. They did something prior to this one, but they're featuring Pendle Hill.
Mischievous, that is a really good topic. We will add that to the conversation. I've just marked it so we can come back to it. But I'm going to pop this up. And I do realise, and I apologise, last show that we did, that we had a bit of a delay and an echo because I had the sound playing.
bloody hell.
So we'll let this roll and have a look.
When I first came over to My Haunted Project, there's one location that we dreamed of.
An area that is so allegedly haunted, we just had to get a venue here.
The scene of the most documented witch trials in English history. And we are the first paranormal team in the world to gain a location here.
This case turned me from skeptic to believer.
Ooh.
This is my haunted Pendle Hill.
Run away, sheep!
You.
That's the Bible. Watch out. Hello, Patrick. They must be about to operate on someone. They're cleaning
Warming
their
his
eyes.
cheese now.
Thank you, Steve.
Slices through your brie like no one's business.
Patrick's on.
Hi, Patrick.
Oh, twinning.
All right, so this is a series. It features Danny Moss, Harry Achilleos, and Brett Jones, and the team behind My Haunted Project. And this time they are going to Pendle Hill. Now, when you watched the preview, you saw Pendle Hill was in Lancashire, in the UK, of course, and the events take place in a historic farmhouse located near the Black Moss Reservoir at the foot of the hill. We never saw this place. I don't actually know where it is.
Yeah.
They seem to be taking people there to do all of the filming and everything, but I don't actually know, because the original house that the witches were in doesn't exist anymore.
Well, this is the one I think that was on Most Haunted.
Yeah, I was about to mention.
Yeah.
Talk about
Yeah,
it.
but it's not the real one.
It's the land.
Oh, anyway, Daniel Moss explained the farmhouse dates back to pre-1612, and we have been working with the historians who have confirmed farming activity on this site.
Fancy having farming activity on the site. I bet a psychic said that.
Oh my God. Oh, I've lost my place. I'm just so overcome with it. Around the exact time of the Pendle witch trial. Well, that adds nothing to it. However, there are no direct links to any of the names involved as of yet. Oh, here we go. But further research is ongoing with plans to delve into the historical archives for more information. The farmhouse itself has a history of extensive paranormal activity, much of which was reported by the family who previously lived there. Now, Danny added the activity was especially significant for the youngest son in the family, with multiple witnesses corroborating the experiences, which he doesn't say what they are.
Oh, that
right?
doesn't help, does it?
Guests will have a chance to stay overnight and investigate the location for themselves. The remote nature of the farmhouse adds to the immersive experience, with guests being transported to and from the site by the team's 4x4 vehicles. So you will be able to, they obviously have this extended sort of overnight stay.
It's an immersive experience.
Which
one might
is
say.
what we as paranormal investigators want.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Especially Lisa.
Now, in addition, this location will feature prominently in the team's Amazon Prime show, which features in spring 2025, offering guests a chance to appear in episodes documenting their experiences.
Wow.
Oh, let's go.
Well, I mean, isn't that a
Let's
hook?
go.
That is a
Who
hook.
wants to go fund us?
I know. All right, Danny's no stranger to the paranormal activity associated with Pendle Hill. I've captured first-hand real paranormal activity during my investigations of Pendle Hill, including a full-bodied apparition at Lower Wellhead Farm in 2020. My haunted Pendle Hills is set to bring guests closer to one of Britain's most compelling and chilling tales, offering a blend of historical intrigue and paranormal investigation. This you can find on Higgy Pop if you know of that particular site. It's a really, really good one. They talk about a lot of the latest issues and things that are sort of being bantied around the paranormal community. They feature new shows and everything. So check out Higgy Pop. And I got my information from there. I think it's really interesting from the point of view that many, many years ago, this is prior to COVID, we actually went over to England, and it was
Many times.
It was a weekend immersive experience that we did.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we did there, we actually showed them how to do table tipping and glass dowsing while we were there.
Was that old lady?
That old lady, she's faking it.
That old lady's fake.
But they actually took us up to the top of Pendle Hill, allegedly where the original farmhouse was supposed to be, and we did a sort of an experience there, which was quite interesting.
I found it quite intense.
You kind of were taken over a little bit.
I
at
was.
that
I
point.
became very angry.
Very angry. I was just angry
Or you
all
just
the
had
time.
Or you just had to, as someone who has travelled with you recently, you just had to have enough sleep. Can we all just be quiet for a minute?
It's not enough coffee either.
Yeah,
The
right.
coffee stretches were far between.
Let's be quiet
The
for a
little
minute.
village where we all stayed, because we all stayed as a big group. There were people from other places that sort of came, and there was a big group of us that was there. It was cute. It was awesomely cute. It had the best and most gorgeous graveyard there too, by the way. I spent a bit of time in that graveyard. But it was really cool. They had experiences during the day. We had food, all of that sort of stuff. I just wonder whether the people that organised that many, many years ago are involved in any of this, because it's about bringing money back to the community as well, not just pushing the money into these guys who are trying to cover their costs by putting the show out there. So I hope you're bringing money back into the community, guys, by doing this.
That's a conversation that we've had a lot about, the difference between Australia and overseas, where these sites actually drive tourism and
Yes.
help the economy.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of places here go, oh, not interested in ghosts. No ghosts, can't have it.
Yeah, that was another discussion I was having with Renata about some historical sites where they are going, oh, no, we don't want to be bothered with any of that sort of stuff. But then they've got people lining up begging them to do this sort of stuff. So the people of the establishment aren't serving what their customers actually want.
Mm.
So
Well, they don't know who their customers actually are.
that's right. So they really need to, if they're struggling to bring funds in, or they need to bring a lot of funds in consistently, and their customers are demanding this sort of stuff, then they should do it.
And you do your due diligence. You look at the people who are wanting to come on and help and assist in doing this sort of stuff. Get them to do the work and prepare, proposals and all of this stuff. Have a look at, their references and everything, and see who you are dealing with. Not everyone is trying to rip you off, or is being able to produce something that is good and will be something that a location is going to be proud of. Certainly most locations that work with groups have been working with them for a really long time, and that just goes to show that if that group wasn't working well, they wouldn't have been working there for the last 6 or 7 years or 8 years. Some of the teams that have been working on these sites have been going for a really long time. So,
it's generally because they're doing a good job. They're covering the history of the location, as well as giving the people that paranormal fix that they're wanting to have, because it's either got some dark history attached to it, or it looks creepy. And let's face it, ghost hunters, if it looks creepy, we go, oh, there must be a ghost there, and we want to go and find out ourselves. So we're our own worst enemy sometimes.
you just want to experience. We
want this apparition.
I know, but we're talking to our people. You want to go into those places. You want to go. The creepier and the more dusty and the more cobwebs, the better off it is.
Yeah, please don't clean the places up.
But that idea of commerce and paranormal investigation, the 3 places that we went together, Lake Mansion, Waverley Hills, Oliver House, all served the site as well. It's not like they were cutting their nose off to spite their face to go, oh, just ghosts.
Sadly, one has, though, just recently.
But I'm just like, when we were there, and I know that there
is an obvious love for the premises too,
and the people that work there. Everyone that we dealt with,
was really passionate about what they were doing.
Amazing.
Yeah, and look, there is the other side of it as well, where people may think, well, here's a good business opportunity. This place looks like it might be haunted. There's actually been no reports of ghosts here, but because it's got a little bit of history there, we might be able to spin something out of it. And there was some places that we have been to, and I'm not going to say where there was very tenuous idea of paranormal activity, and it was sold to the concept was sold to the owners of the building as a way to bring in some revenue, but then the paranormal investigators have gone in and gone, oh, we've found this ghost, we've found that ghost, it's incredibly haunted. In the meantime, this person has had to go back to work Monday to Fridays in that building and sometimes close up late by themselves and are now shit scared of the place. And when we were there, we didn't experience anything that I could say that is paranormal.
Yeah.
And I felt really sorry for this person who now is terrified. She wasn't before, but because of the stories that have been created by investigators that have gone in, they're now scared to work there.
Or scared to leave the premises on their own.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting thing because that affected me to the point that when we're leaving a premises now, we always wait for the person who is locking up and ask them, do you want us to stay?
Yeah, do you want us to help you?
Help you leave and everything like that.
Because even when we think back to nights at the jail, some nights, like, oh my God, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And other nights, like, oh, okay, I might just take someone with me to just close that down a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because it's something that isn't able to be produced on demand no matter what TV shows you.
It's spontaneous.
Yeah.
Can't
So you've
predict
got to
it.
ride the wave, literally, and make sure that what you're doing isn't negatively affecting the people that are there.
Especially if
24 hours a
stories
day.
are being created to bring people into the location to make more money to support the location. You've got to balance that out with the adverse effects on the people who have to either live there or work there. Yeah, I think Lisa's nailed it there with the psychology is a big factor. People's beliefs, yeah.
Yeah.
And not many places do have haunted bubble baths, Patrick. That's just, that is my really weird tick that I can put. I have stayed in a haunted mansion and had a spa bath at 3 a.m.
You did too. I did. To relax.
To relax. Everyone, they stuck me in the monkey boy room.
This is true.
Yeah. They're like,
didn't realise it at the
this is
time.
the most haunted room. This is the most haunted room in the attic. I'm like, great. Awesome. I was like, Zeke, you're going to see some things you don't want to see. So
That's Lamp Mansion, and Steve is editing that
it
one
is
together.
coming.
It's part
It
way
is
there.
coming.
Edward, yes, we do. We have a podcast called True Hauntings Podcast. This has not come out as a podcast as such. It will depend on the sound quality, whether I can pop it up as
Make it so.
I do have the air conditioning blasting above our head here, so I might need to turn that down. The other one, Lynn said she had private tour with Simon. He's fabulous at telling stories. This is Simon Thistlethwaite or something, isn't he? Is that his name? This is to do with your Pendle Hill.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going back to the
Love
Isaac
Pendle Hill.
was supposed to be creepy as hell.
If we
It's
go
not
back
actually.
to England, Lynn, I reckon that would be a great addition to a tour.
Maybe we should do a Pendle Hill.
I'd like to go to that.
Maybe we should.
Go fun, Steve.
Staying there.
Oh,
That place for the night.
far out. That would be so good.
Now we do have our frightfully good holiday to Ireland in September next year. We have 2 places left on that. So if you want to know about that, check out Frightfully Good Haunted Holidays for more information. Sorry, Norfolk is sold out, but
So do.
yeah.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
We I'll just make sure I've got all the comments ticked there that we were going to do. We have a thing here from Mish. I want to collab with people, but always ends up in people taking advantage. Doesn't seem to be community-based anymore. That's why we keep to ourselves now, which is sad.
it was never community-based. Get over it.
Oh,
That's
That's
not
a bit
what I was going to say.
that was a bit loud.
Right, collaborations for me.
Oh, dear. Sorry, Mish.
There has to be mutual benefit for both sides. We have had people ask us to collaborate who don't have any YouTube audience or anything, and we've gone, well, we can't drive 6 hours or 4 hours or whatever it is and bring all the equipment and pay for the hire of the location and all of this stuff if there's not something that you're bringing to the table. But
and look, that's just a business.
that it is. We are a business. This is what we do.
That's a business thing. It's not to count anybody out of the process, but we aren't rich. It actually takes us a lot of our savings to go and do something like that.
And planning.
And time.
Effort. And time.
And so it's kind of, and what it does is it keeps everyone's boundaries up. So if you're giving something and I'm giving something, then we're sort of equal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it sort of really does make it a one-sided thing. Collaborations are great, but a collaboration means that you are collaborating on everything. Expenses, how you're going to advertise it, where it's going. You're doing me a favor and I'm doing you a favor. That's a collaboration.
Yes, somebody has said that Renata's got her sour pants on.
I think it's important too that the people that you collaborate, just with the stuff that I've done with you guys, you have to have a mutual respect / understanding of what the other person does, how they operate, and if that's going to work together.
Yeah.
Because a team or an individual or an organization can be wonderful at what they do, but do you fit well into that equation?
Mm-hmm. And your belief system has to be the same as well, because I remember...
Or complementary.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or you have to be willing to accept the other person's belief system as well.
I mean, on the face of things, you guys and Isaac shouldn't work. You know what I mean?
Right?
It shouldn't work. But the stuff that we've done, and like not just the Devil's Advocate stuff, the live event that we did, everything works so well because you guys have...
It was mutually beneficial.
And interest. And
it was very beneficial for us.
Yeah.
I mean, he brought a lot to the
respect
table.
that goes both ways as well. And he's got a genuine desire and interest to learn more.
Becca Lee, thank you so much.
Oh, Becca Lee!
Thank you. And Linda, the spiritualist alchemist, thank you. Have you checked out Henry Kendall's cottage in Gosford?
Yes, when I worked with the cruise ships, I used to take people out there a lot as part of the Central Coast area. It is tiny. That is the thing. And whether people would actually, or the community would actually let us do anything there is another thing. If you think Miss Porter's house is tiny, this is a third of Miss Porter's house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Did you have so much fun on the one ship?
No.
First of the... Renata doesn't like any shit.
Just one more thing for the collaboration is that we were asked by another group to collaborate on something, but they were well known for breaking into sites and investigating without permission, and that does not align with our values at all. And they had a really good following and everything. So we didn't draw the line at Isaac.
And it was really interesting. Look, I'm just going to stop this very, very quickly, but I think it's really, really important. I was watching another YouTube influencer, and she started to talk about, and she's in the cosmetic industry. So, and the whole talk was about, are you being paid to say that our products are great and everything? And she's saying, no, I don't. But. And there was another person that came on and said, stop criticizing her because she's actually being real at the moment. And because she's being real at the moment, her numbers have dropped down.
Hello.
Her numbers have dropped down because she's being real. And this other person said, when she comes on and puts on all of her makeup and she shows the makeup and all of that, her numbers fly up. And she goes, yes, it's all wonderful. It's all fantastic. I love it. But if she started to come on and say, this is a load of shit, I don't like this, and by the way, in my life, this and this and this are happening, you'd stop watching because you don't want the reality. You want the drama. You want everything to be beautiful and perfect. And so hence I go to the same thing that's happening in the paranormal industry where you go, You want the demons. You want the scratches. You want the drama between people. That's what you're going to watch, and that's where the numbers go. But if you present something that says there's nothing here and this is really boring and, oh, we didn't get anything, then they plaster you as a bad investigator and your numbers are shit. They're down the drain. So can we win? No, because if we want numbers, we need to give you what you want to watch. And that means we're going against our integrity and what we think is the right thing to do. But are you going to watch the reality? No, you're not in most cases. So what are you guys forcing people to do? You guys are forcing people to show drama and the things that aren't reality. It's a false reality that you want. That's entertainment, and that's okay. But when people come on and give you the real stuff, there's no need to disgrace them by saying you're really bad investigators, that you're not getting a demon everywhere you go either. Because honestly, that's not the truth.
Yeah. Look, Lachlan, I feel your pain. Whippersnippers, lawnmowers and tractors are featured in so many of our freaking videos, and I've now started to highlight it and show that there's always one. Like, we just put one up on
Duckett's
Grove, and there was a lawnmower going. Yeah. And we're about to put one up of Glendalough, and it's got a little tractor sort of thing on there as well. It's just, they're our curse. They are absolutely our curse. I want to give a huge thank you. Wow, Violent Vet.
Violent Vet. Thank you so much.
Whereabouts do you want
to go?
An Aussie tour? Yes.
Absolutely. We'd love that. But we've got to have people who are willing to let us into their venues.
How about we do a state-by-state one? Go to
sure.
Go to the most haunted place in every state in Australia.
Right. What, can I jump in with mine now? Because it kind of
piggybacks
beautifully.
Okay.
It piggybacks beautifully. So I was thinking about this, thinking, pondering my navel, as you do. And it's a claim that has been levelled at us before. Speaking of, it would be difficult for the front league. Well, that conversation about how it would be difficult for us to investigate with other people and stuff like that. Do you think that the idea of debunking has gone out the window in paranormal activity, paranormal investigations, especially the TV shows? Because if you think back, way back, get back in your back machine, your way back machine.
Getting your DeLorean, off you go.
Ghost Hunters used to be a debunking show.
Ghost Adventures used to be a debunking show.
They both used to be more about
Taps particularly
trying to discern the reality of the situation in the environment as opposed to the stories that have been circulated. And I think, thinking of our tour that we did before you went to Salem, and we had this conversation at one of the places, not going to mention which one yet, but even as investigators, as personalities in the field, how do you separate everything that you've been told and that you know about this location from the reality of the situation? Because we do a lot of debunking.
I sometimes,
and people have labelled that as negating people's experiences and taking the fun out of it. But honesty should go a certain way in this field, especially when people fake so much, and that the outrage about faking things is so high.
There seems to be a split as far as I'm thinking at the moment, because I watch a lot of the debunkers that are now have their own shows, and it's like an us and them sort of thing. Yeah. You've got the ones that are really, really popular online at the moment, and they're going hell for leather. They really are. I don't know where they're getting their money from, but honest to God, someone is pushing a lot of these teams forward at great expense. And then you've got the debunkers that are coming in and going, well, that's shit, that's wrong, and that's wrong. And I'd never seen that amount of debunking by people before, but people are actually making a living from
It's
being
like an
debunkers.
underground motion that's happening,
Yes.
mainly on TikTok and stuff like that. Like it's
It's a big YouTube thing
it's
too.
a big
but
TikTok and YouTube kind of thing.
yeah,
That we've had the highs of the ghost shows where everyone was getting possessed by demons and stuff like that. But people seem to want to go backwards now and go, what's the reality behind all the stories?
but the numbers on the reality shows aren't going up. The numbers on those that are really investigating aren't rising. So what do people want? What do they want?
Well, our small community wants the truth. And I really liked what Past Tense Paranormal put there. To debunk is to be truthful to yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can't do it. But my problem is I have very critical thinking, married to an engineer. He has sort of offered me the truth, or what could be the truth, the whole way through. And I've heard you say that sometimes you've just got to go with it and give in to the fact that it could be paranormal and roll with it and see what else comes in. Because if you're going, no, this is not paranormal, this could be this or it could be that, then the spirit world's going to go, well, why should I bother? And I am guilty of that. I am guilty of the whole, I can explain this. I can explain this to the point that I start to think there is nothing paranormal out there. Just about everything can be explained. But because it can be explained does not necessarily mean that it is not paranormal.
Exactly.
I think we need to offer people the possibility of what something may be as knowledge, and then it's up to them whether they want to explore that further or not.
So to put that in a concrete example, Maitland Jail. We know that it is possible to get breezes through the cell. We know that it's possible to hear sounds that may sound like something else when there's been rain, when there's been because we have spent a lot of time in that environment. When someone goes, oh my God, what was that noise? And you go, oh, that was the gutter outside. That's not necessarily taking away from their experience, it's educating them, right?
Yeah.
And I would rather, and this might just be me, as someone who was a tour goer long before I was part of your team, I would rather someone go, oh, it could be this, but it also could be this. You don't want to go, oh, that's definitely Satan tickling your bumhole.
Yeah.
That's only on a week.
There will be a warning on this episode.
Sorry, everyone. I'm keeping it royal.
Yes, Zena, you are right. Some of the debunkers don't have open minds. And that's our gorgeous skeptic community. Some of them are never going to believe. And I mean, as my always thing with that is, the hardcore skeptics or cynics are as bad as the true believers who won't listen to anything that's logical or scientific.
I don't mind the debunkers as long as, and as you said, Steve, they are trying in most cases to keep it real. They are. They're pushing things out and kind of going, you should think about things this way because that might be exactly what's happening. And if you look at this video, this will show you what's missing, and maybe they could do things better next time so that, you have more proof. So, there are good points coming across. The whole Cody and Satori drama that went on for months and months and months and
then
months.
Spilled over into the
Conjuring House.
The Conjuring House, which let's make everyone else look bad so that Cody and Satori are looking fabulous now.
Yeah, so you've got to, as an observer, look at this in a number of different ways and then take away your understanding of it. Hello, Kay.
Hello, Kay.
I think that's
Adelaide's Haunted Horizons.
I think that's part of the strength of our team as well, because we have true believers, true believers, and then we have some of us that are willing to go, okay, that might not be the case, but what is happening? And I think that the right amount of both gives people, on a tour at least, the option to choose their own adventure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even when we film stuff, we're always there's plenty of footage we don't use yet. That's someone's phone. That's this. That's that. That's
We're
not
not
spoiling.
picking on anyone.
That's not spoiling anything. Notification bells, you know.
It's just keeping it real.
Oh,
It's keeping
dear.
it real. People, there aren't demons in every single building. There
You
aren't.
can't
Well, I want my
They're
money
not-
back.
They're not going to possess you every time you walk in. You're not going to get scratched, every time you walk into a building. You know, some people are so horrified when they come on a tour that that's the first thing they say. Am I going to get possessed? Can you make sure that I'm okay? And go, yes, we should.
Jonathan, I'll make that shirt if you buy one. That's just Satan tickling my bumhole
Please, Satan, tickle my bum hole.
on a weekend.
Between 6 and 5. Yeah, right.
Sorry, we've derailed everyone.
And do you want to talk about is there anything else you want to say or anything?
No, I
that's
just
come
thought it was
up
a
with
very
regard to-
interesting because we've had this conversation on the many long drives.
Yes.
and
And
stuff.
Wagga Wagga.
Yeah, we and even post location and stuff like that. We've had these conversations about watching other people. Oh my god,
Renata doesn't get on boats.
Renata do boats.
No.
Oh dear. Too soon.
I was
Too
going
soon.
to make a very poorly timed joke.
Oh no.
But I just think that, you know, we analyze ourselves a lot as well and go, are we offering people the best
Yes.
experience?
Continuously.
Because you don't want to be those people that take you somewhere and go, oh yes, this is definitely haunted, which is why, again, and it was a big, I think a couple of years ago, it was a big shift of what we did, that we weren't going to front load people with information anymore and go, this is the ghosts that are here before we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had the experience
Yeah.
doesn't mean that our guests are going to have that experience. We want them to have their own experience and make up their own minds, not be force fed.
We don't tell anyone anything.
Unless they ask, or at the end,
Yeah.
I would go, we've had this, and this reported here. And then someone will go, oh, I felt that. Okay, cool. Then that's something interesting that you can explore further.
I'm sort of in two minds about that, because it's nice to know what works in that location and what the energies there like to use, but not necessarily know too much
Yeah, exactly.
about that. If I'm stuck and there's absolutely nothing happening, I'll say, can you give me a historical fact about something with this that can help me ask the right questions to hopefully get a response. All right. I'll just quickly check that there's no more down there. I know. Oh, well, let me tell you where I'm about to go.
Oh, it's going to hell.
Going to
Open
hell.
the door to hell.
Paranormal people love me in the community.
How many years ago, dear children?
There isn't a door to hell anymore. Bobby Gracky's got knocked down.
Oh, that's
Oh.
right. The portal to hell has gone.
No, the portal is still there. They're building around it. It's fine.
They're going
It's
to
fine.
put a perspex screen over it
No,
to keep
it's
Satan in.
everything that is allegedly
The
supposed
well
to
from
be,
hell.
yes,
Well.
is there. They are just making a new Bobby Mackey's, which is secure.
And if you'd like to know the truth about that one, I think we did a podcast on it, didn't we?
did.
We did. Check out the True Hauntings podcast and you'll find what we found out, which was very interesting. Yeah, Cags like me. I prefer to know beforehand so I know who I'm asking out. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's sort of like it's great if you don't mention the names or the story and stuff starts to come out. I actually found a newspaper article in Tocal, and we'd never used that information there before. So the group didn't know about it that were on the spirit box doing the Estes method. And I was using this to get information, and I was asking questions that only I knew the answer to. And we were starting to get hits. And that's fascinating, because not even the team members had read this information. Anyway, are we
But
ready?
Cag, I just want to,
Yeah.
Cag, I want to ask you a question. When you know this information, because I do a lot of research about the sites before I go, I don't seem to feel that it affects me when I'm getting stuff through. It's not influencing me at all. It's just, it doesn't. I know that information. I still keep open to whatever's happening. I don't kind of get this sense that I've got to, corroborate information. It just sits there as a piece of information in my
You
head.
bet.
It's not influencing me at all. So I'm wondering how you and Alison go.
Before we move on,
Yep.
I just think about what happens in Melbourne. We were there.
Just before you go there, in the comments now, I want you to write down what you would hope to get if you went to a paranormal expo or a paranormal convention. What is it you are looking for when you go to one? All right, off you go.
Because we didn't know anything about that nunnery.
No, we didn't.
And
You
there is no way.
You dug up
There is
information
no way I could have known
that only
any
the
of that
family,
information.
yeah, only the family knew,
And for
not
me,
even the team that was
and
investigating.
for me, who is not, I'm
That's-
not ghosts
Yeah.
everywhere. For me to be able to come up with that information,
Yeah.
that makes it interesting for me.
Satan did scratch a bum
He
hole
did
that day.
scratch my bumhole at a nunnery.
Yeah.
It was hot as Satan's crack there,
It
actually,
was,
wasn't it?
and we couldn't open up the windows because there was a bee infestation outside the window.
Bees!
Oh, it was adorable. It was a great place.
I want to go
It was.
back.
I do.
It's brilliant.
I'm going to go back.
Maybe we
but
fly.
We're going to fly and hope that they've got the windows open.
Oh, it was a great
And I
place.
think I want to stay. I want to do like a couple of days.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
enough.
Look, I'm happy to drive it if we have
Renata's not.
time. The last time wasn't too bad, but it's.
Do you remember this one? She went comatose.
No, that was the time before.
Road trips with Renata are fun.
Are we there yet?
Well, I'm awake.
Oh,
I'm asleep. Awake. Awake.
all right. I'm just going now. I'm heading. You both done there with
Yeah,
this?
sorry,
Right,
we're
okay.
done.
This one could get quite controversial, and I've got 19 minutes left. I've found that there are 3 paranormal conventions coming up next year
Oh,
that I know of
in Australia.
in Australia, and
Oh.
it's a difficult thing to run. And kudos to anyone who gives it a crack.
We haven't been
Where's your
invited.
invites? Yeah,
Where's your invites? We have not been invited to any
We
of them.
have been invited to one, Renata. You've forgotten already.
Oh,
Oh.
have we?
Yes, I'm not going to mention.
Adventures before dementia.
I'm not going to mention who is running them, and this is not a dig at anyone running a convention or anything, but more a discussion with the people who attend it. So,
Potentially.
Melanie said equipment and haunted holidays, meeting and greeting people, like-minded people, a friendly environment, and it's not all about the money. Expert discussions, info about potential sites, like to meet the team and get a feel for their vibe.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, some places you go, I don't mind those with morbid history, but something to learn off others' information always. Yeah. And sometimes even hearing something you disagree with firms up a belief in your own mind, which I find just as useful. Location, info and equipment, learning about the tech. Yes, CAG 3. We can talk later. A room where you can go and watch some of their videos. Oh, I like that.
Yes, that's a good one too.
That Ouija session at Maitland Jail was one of my most favourite experiences at a paranormal convention. It was truly awesome. That was a really good convention. Yeah,
Right, the Maitland Jail one.
yeah, that was really good.
Sadly, we can't do that.
Glassed out t-shirt.
Address
All
your
right.
concerns to Maitland City Council.
A hug from Patrick Keller. All right. So, my thoughts about this when I was sort of getting information about the various conventions that are coming up is I was looking at some of the lineup of the speakers and I was thinking, what is it that people want? And you guys are sort of letting me know. And I sort of went and did a bit of research and I thought, who should speak at paranormal conventions?
Obviously, the most famous people.
Well, I mean, that's okay. There are sometimes people want to meet
They
the
do.
famous investigators. I know that through a paranormal convention, we created our business, Oz Paratech, selling paranormal equipment. So I'm ever so grateful. I've met many of you through paranormal conventions, and there have been some awesome ones in the past. But who should speak at paranormal conventions? What's your suggestions, apart from famous people?
I think that it's interesting when you have opposing viewpoints. Not necessarily everyone on the same field, you know? And when we have, psychics, people that specialize in tech, to give a bigger picture of what the paranormal is, because it's so pigeonholed by the TV show.
Yeah.
And that's where celebrities come in handy, because people come to see those people, but they learn more in the process of attending something that they might not necessarily have, come up with just watching a TV show.
Do you feel also that it's important that if a convention is held somewhere, that maybe some of the local groups need to be involved, and the local teams that might be doing things not only for the public, but maybe also doing investigations for just, evidential stuff? Yeah.
You're right, Amanda. Basically, people who know their shit. You are absolutely spot on, girlfriend. Look, let me go through here. So this is what came up as suggested. Well-known investigators or paranormal groups with credible experience and case studies to share. And that's something I found really interesting. You're out of camera, Steve. I found, like Ben Hansen, when he came over, some of the things he presented and the EVPs he presented were fascinating. And as Lynn said, Travis Walton telling the story of his paranormal abduction. Fascinating. First-hand encounters is great. Paranormal authors, writers of books on haunted locations, or podcasts. Paranormal theories. Yes, please. We need to learn more. We want new ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or supernatural history.
Yes.
Through podcasts.
Great ideas.
Or holidays.
Awesome. Or holidays. They also suggested scientists and skeptics. Experts who can offer scientific perspectives on paranormal phenomena to create balanced discussions, which would make a great debate, as many of you were saying would be a great thing to do. And we actually did that at one of the expos with Appy. I think they had a paranormal panel, and Brian Cano was on it, and we were on it. I think it might have been a different team.
Yeah,
I was in a different team back then. That was Eastern States Paranormal. Yeah, good on you. Doing well with that one, aren't you? Anyway, that was my outside voice. Oops. You stole it off me. Anyway,
we're not hurt by the
no,
facts,
we're not hurt by the facts at all. They've done wonders with it. All right, so I think that's great, and I think skeptics are great. I remember Beth, what's she called now? Beth Darlington, who's now living in the UK, and she's just been on a TV show in the UK. We're so proud of you, Beth. She actually went to a skeptics seminar and presented as a paranormal investigator, and she was not sure how it was going to be taken, but many of them came up afterwards and said, thank you so much. You've actually opened my mind to how closed I was. I think this balance is wonderful. I remember also at Appy's conventions, they had the skeptics there. They need to be there. They keep us honest.
Yep.
Media personalities, hosts of paranormal TV shows, podcasts, YouTube channels with a strong following. Yes. Psychics and mediums, credible individuals who claim to communicate with spirits and can demonstrate their craft live. Now, I know that they are a big draw card. If you get yourself a really well-known psychic medium in there, they will bring everyone.
There's an audience.
Yep. Local experts, people familiar with local legends and haunted locations, which add relevance and regional appeal. And that sort of goes down to one of the other things, like where should these places, where should we hold these conventions? And I don't know about you guys, but I love it when it's a haunted location. Like as someone said, the Carrington Hotel, that was a great place to hold it. Maitland Jail, Casula Powerhouse, Parramatta Jail, and recently Amanda and Bill did theirs down in Melbourne, and they had the Kling brothers taken into various haunted locations, and so great idea. Anyway, they suggested historical venues such as castles, old theatres, or abandoned buildings with haunted histories. Don't know how we'd go getting the sound and the screens in there, but we give it a crack. Or convention centres which are easily accessible and capable of hosting large audiences, or hotels with haunted reputations. You've got to be mindful to allow accessibility for those with disabilities to be able to get in and out. We have some beautiful investigators who used to love coming to Maitland Jail with us because they could access it, they could get in there. And so many of our other venues, we just don't have wheelchair access at all. It's quite sad. So I did say, what are customers looking for in an expo? So topics like ghost hunting techniques, case studies, debunking and myths, hands-on experience like ghost hunting workshops, demonstrations of equipment, or live investigations. I know that when we attend paranormal investigations, the first thing we do is sign up. So paranormal expos, we sign up for the investigations. We were going to be involved in one in America, it was a women's paranormal thing, but unfortunately the Big C wiped that out for several years in a row, and then when they finally did run it, our dates didn't match up and we couldn't go, so it was really sad.
On the home front, look back at when we did the Ghost Pod show with Isaac and Claire.
Yeah.
How special was that to do that show in the venue and then be able to offer an investigation afterwards to the people? And that night was... The people that attended the whole thing was so good. And it would be great to do something like that again. It's just a matter of getting all the plates to spin in the right direction.
There are other things that people have said is that, of course, we want the shops. We like to do a little bit of shopping, don't we? Especially paranormal equipment.
Or books.
And thank you to the one person that's invited us.
Books.
Photos with the people that you follow online is great as well.
I know that we did a workshop in Salem with Dr. Utu, and the first thing I did was went and buy his book.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll read it one day. And my interest in Ouija boards started by attending a paranormal convention. Books, tools, crystals, merchandise, and networking opportunities, meet and greets with other investigators. And this is where you learn to do your collaborations and things like that. I'm really hoping that the people who are looking at running these conventions are listening in and maybe getting some tips and helps about this, ideas about this. Entertainment, paranormal documentaries or live podcasts. We've actually got a doco that's not been seen. Exclusive content, so the launch of a book or the launch of a venue, the launch of anything, a new tool. But who shouldn't present at these paranormal conventions? And this is where I get a little bit worried, because
put in your comments right now before she starts.
Before I open the trap.
Who should not
present at paranormal conventions?
They're all stunned into silence.
Well, there is a delay.
Crickets.
Yes. Those who have been caught out faking it should not be attending.
Actually, I disagree with that, because I think they should be able to.
They wouldn't come if they've been called out.
If they are believing their own hype.
Yeah, for real.
Then you should be able, and this is a conversation that, not to cross-promote, this is a conversation I have on my podcast all the time.
What's your podcast?
Uncensored Radio. If you have a belief that is so strong, and you're willing to put your money down on it and make money from it, take people's money for it, you should be able to stand up for that.
Yeah,
and you should be able
standing behind your product.
Yeah, stand behind your products. So I think that would be a brave thing for someone like that previously mentioned person to do.
Mm.
Keg said boring people.
We don't know what they're like.
Yeah, we've got some non-believers, those who are fake, demons, right? So, yeah, basically,
I wouldn't mind having an exorcist on a
right. Okay,
paranormal
well
show,
that brings
on
me
a
to
thing.
a really important thing that
Just
if
not
you
Russell Crowe.
have an exorcist
Why
on,
not? Father Amor.
and I have been to some conventions where they've had exorcists, and I think it was actually in America at the Stanley Hotel, and they
Dropping
were
those names there, we'll just pick those up and put those up.
with Grant Wilson and Chip Coffey.
I keep coming.
oh,
Sorry.
oh,
How
and,
clumsy of me.
Yeah, John Tenney.
Stop it.
I forgot what I was talking about.
Exorcists.
Right. If you are inviting an exorcist to come, you are hitting the realms of the beliefs of religions.
That's okay. That's clear.
If you've got demons that you're talking about, then you are hitting points of demonic activity, which is related to Christians and the angels and everything, which is not a problem. But should it be well balanced with someone from maybe the Satanists?
Yes, absolutely. Wouldn't you go to one where it had an exorcist and a Satanist?
I can
How
have
interesting.
and an angel, like an angel therapist, for example, as well, for, proper balance. You could have all of that. You could have them on a panel even to discuss a particular topic.
If say we had someone who was an orbologist come along and want to present a talk, would you block them because you don't believe in orbs?
No.
And that's the important thing, people.
No, because there are people that do, and I want to hear what they want to say.
Yeah. So there are, I do worry that there are some conventions where people are putting themselves forwards as experts in the field when they're not. They have a strong belief system in what they believe and what they think everyone else should believe and how everyone else should be following the paranormal. And then they will skew the whole conference based on their personal belief system. And only those people are allowed to attend, which means the people who then come to the conference only get this one idea. They only get this presentation from whatever side it is that they believe in. And I'm going to dig myself a hole here, aren't I? I'm going to get hate mail, but that's okay.
It's okay. I can get you out of that hole.
So, yeah, thank you, Amanda. You really have to be careful that if you only believe in demons and that sort of thing, that you balance it out with other things as well, to give a balanced. That's a good point.
And that's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Can I put forward a little real life
Oh,
moment?
yes, Susie, absolutely. Wouldn't they? Some of the best
Nations.
speakers I have ever felt were First Nations people that gave a lecture. Oh, my God, didn't they reach to the heart? Oh, they're amazing. And, I mean, we are in their land, on their land. We should learn from them.
Should.
I think they have good things to tell us.
When you look back at our trip, and we went with our lovely friend Tony Rotunda
Yes.
I can't wait till those videos come out.
to the Witch Museum,
Yes.
Yes.
that wouldn't necessarily be something that I would do off my own back. But it was super interesting, and you can tell from the people coming through the doors that it's not necessarily something they would seek out, because they were around Halloween time.
Yeah.
But because it's Halloween, they're like, oh, we'll go give this a go. There was so much information
Oh,
there.
so much.
And it was a brilliant
Oh.
play. If you're ever around the area,
Cleveland,
Cleveland.
everyone. The Bucklands Museum of Witchcraft and Magic.
And they specialise in the history of it.
It's not a huge museum, but it is so chock-a-block full of so many
Stories
interesting
and
things.
information.
And the guy who does the little tour around and explains everything is so entertaining. I love him.
And if you stay with Tony, a lovely cat.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, the cat.
That's it. Stephen?
So that's me.
What was an S name?
Oh, what was the cat's
his name?
Stanley.
Stanley!
Stanley. Oh,
Stanley the cat.
Stanley. And sorry, we talked about it before, but Tony let us. Experience some things from the museum.
Oh, yes.
That's
and again,
the video I want to come out.
Yes.
Not necessarily something that we would search out on our own.
No.
We
But
would never
it's
think that we would be allowed
No.
to.
But being able to put something in your hand
With the history
go-
attached to it, it's like,
and the stories and being
yes.
able to put your own experience, it's all tying the whole show together. Look at
Yeah.
us wrapping it up like professionals.
oh, I'm not finished yet.
It kind of rounds out the experience.
Yes. So the next topic is who should run paranormal conventions? Who should run paranormal conventions, people? Those with money, I think. Because it
That's
costs
the
a
thing.
bucket load.
Okay, so we've had some paranormal conventions in the past, which sadly have gone arse up. And these particular people have run fabulous, amazing opportunities for the paranormal people. And I've made lifelong friendships at these conventions. But sadly, some people are not good at the business aspect of the whole expo. You need a lot of money in the bank to run an expo. I would say nothing less than $25,000, particularly if you are working with international clients and you are hiring a venue, and you've got to fly people in, provide their accommodation, pay their fee, whatever that may
more
be.
than $25,000. Come on.
Amanda and Bill, you can chime in here.
You can let us know.
Cag and Ali, you can chime in here. You have hosted people. You know what it is like. Absolutely. Daisy, Hillsong, what's that about?
Our air conditioning
No.
stopped, I'd just like to say.
No,
Gonna
they are
die.
not going to run conventions.
And this is true, Sarah. You have to be prepared to run at a loss, and you also have to be prepared with what to do if that happens. You need to know when your bills are due. You can't sell tickets and then have it all fall on the ass and fall on its
There's always a
ass.
plan B and a plan C. and a
America
plan X.
had a whole spat of various conventions where people took a lot of money in and they nicked off with it. I'm not saying that's what happened here in Australia, but sadly through poor organisation or understanding of how it was going to run, it fell to pieces. And a lot of people lost some money. I lost money. There was an attempt to pay some money back, but we still lost money. So who should run the paranormal conventions? Firstly, people who have the money to be able to run it possibly at a loss.
That's bad business.
But the people will not pay a lot of dollars
No, they won't.
to attend.
No.
So
I think it's always better to run something smaller than go gung-ho and lose your house.
the trouble with teams collaborating is that people have different ideas. You've got to make sure you're all on the same page. We have been asked to run paranormal conventions, and I just went, no, I'm not going near that. I think you need people who have a good business head, have a proven record of showing that they can manage business well, shows that they don't have any bias in any particular area and are open to have people that they might not even like but can offer great content to their expo come along. And that could be the skeptics, because I sort of was fearful of the skeptics until I had the table next to me. They were great.
They're just people.
They're just people with a different idea to us, open to the metaphysical side of things, the spiritual side of things, the the scientific and gadget side of things. Don't, and this comes back to what we were talking about before with, I can't remember. Oh, my medication's run off for the day. But, oh, that's right, pleasing the public. So that's why I was asking you guys, what is it you like? What is it you want at these conventions? Be careful where you spend your money, please. Find out who is running the conventions, their history, and make sure that your money is safe, particularly if you buy your tickets through PayPal or a credit card, where if things go arse up, you can get a refund through the bank or PayPal or something. There's some sort of guarantee to cover your funds. We've been trying to get onto the international circuit. We're offering to pay for our own airfares to over there to come and speak at a conference. The True Hauntings podcast has nearly got 1 million downloads. Come on, guys. We can open up some cesspits. Anyway.
And just to further on your idea, I think it's got to be people with a clear motivation and intention.
Yeah. Why are you running the expo? Is it so that you can go, well, look at me, I know all these famous people, aren't I great? Or is it that you're wanting to bring new knowledge to Australia because we are starving? We are starving over here for content. When you look at what's happening in America and England with the amount of conventions that are on, there is so many. Every weekend you can go to another convention, and they're all good quality ones too. So good luck to every single one of you who are running conventions here in Australia next year. It's hard. It's really hard. I hope you can hit the nail on the head and get the people in unbiased and have the money to pay the bills without ripping people off.
Now, that's the next thing. Everyone wants a convention, but when it comes down to it, you don't buy the bloody tickets. So if you're wanting a convention, you're wanting it to happen, please support the people that are doing it. Don't leave them high and dry so that when it comes down to the date, they've got 30 people on their list, which isn't going to cover anything.
And they have to cancel it because they can't cover the costs.
Please support these people. Please support them.
And if it's something you're interested in, don't be afraid to request or ask the organisers who, and go, I would really like to see so-and-so, because it might be something they haven't thought of.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if there's the public have a demand, you supply that demand. That's good business.
Anyway, we have to wrap this up because Auntie Renata has to go to work. I hope you've enjoyed the Paranormal Hot Seat.
Tell us if you want more.
Yeah, I sort of enjoyed doing this because you can speak your mind. I hope I have not been disrespectful, and that was not my intention. My intention was more to open up a discussion about what's going on in the paranormal field. I thank you for all your comments. I thank you so much for the super stickers and the stars that have been sent through. It really means the world to us that you are supporting our work. But that's us for...
And I thank you for liking Satan's Butthole Tickle.
T-shirts coming soon.
T-shirts coming soon.
If we don't get to talk to you before the new year, we wish you all a bright and wonderful and fantastic new year. We hope that 2025 is going to be awesome for all of us.
Many spooky things upon you all.
Thank you for the lovely comments coming through. Yeah, thick skins, that's important too. All right, guys, we love you all. We'll see you on the dark side. And
stay spooky.
And don't be dickheads, whatever you do.
And also, blow it out your ass!
Thanks, Cousin Steve. Bye, everyone.
Bye.